Add it to the cart, and we got you. And that's it, man. Go purchase Big Pat Sports Talk merch and support the family, man. And welcome to Big Pat Sports Talk. Thank you for your support. What's going on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all platforms? Welcome to another Our Way podcast with yours truly, Big Pat Sports Talk and G Nation Inside Sports, Big Blue Lou, co-founders of the Big Blue Crew, classified 3F with Joe. He's resting. And today, this podcast is going to be about the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys and the keys to victory. What does right? What does Brian Daboll, Kafka, Wink, and the New York Giants in general have to do to beat these Cowboys this year, to finally get a victory versus the Cowboys? And Dak Prescott haven't got one in about 5 years against those guys. So I'm gonna start it off, and I think this is the most important key. We have to get the run game going. A lot of people expect us to come out guns a blazing because of our new weapons, Waller, Hyatt, Campbell. I don't think we need to fall in love with that pause in the very first game. Get the ball to our best playmaker. Let's see what they do against him in the beginning of the game, and let's see if we could, take their souls in the beginning of the game with Saquon Barkley. I don't know what you think about that, Lou. Let's elaborate on that for a second.
Well, I mean, that's exactly where my mind was. With everybody's eyes fixated on Darren Waller, Jalen Hyatt, Sterling Shepard being back, and the addition of speedster Paris Campbell, they're going to be expecting us to try to go deep early. Pause. Right? So, me on the other hand, we got a road grader in John Michael Smith, who I'd like to take for a test drive and see how he can pave the road. So, first things first, I want him to push that defensive line back.
Mm-hmm.
I want Barkley to play with that chip on his shoulder. I agree with you 100%. I think you would catch them totally off guard if you come out and run the ball down their throat. I think nobody's expecting that. So
I don't think they're expecting that either. And the reason why I don't think they're expecting that, because they're expecting us to go out there and pass the ball around the yard like with the Buffalo Bills or somebody. And I think attacking them with Saquon Barkley, it makes that defense think. If we come out there passing every down, thinking we could just bombs away against people, it's going to allow people to pin their ears back. And when you get a defense to start thinking, you make them slower. A lot of people don't realize that when a defense is out there thinking, is he going to do this dig route right here, or are they going to do a double move, or are they going to run the ball?
Is a route. It's a cut. It's a separation.
So that one extra yard of separation we could get because he's thinking, like, what are they finna do right here? And that's why I like the draw play out of the 12 personnel concept, because we could come out there at 12 personnel. You got to worry about the jet sweep. You got to worry about Waller. You got to worry about Bellinger out of the backfield. You got to worry about Daniel Jones' legs. You got to worry about Hyatt or Slayton out there with the speed. You got to worry about Hodgins if he's in there. And I just think with all those things that you're thinking about, and you put Bellinger in motion, and they think it's pass, and then you hand it off to Barkley, and that middle of that defense is not thinking about the run. If Barkley gets in the open field, I don't care what any of y'all say, he's still the most explosive running back in the league when it comes to in the open field. You can say, yeah, he's lost a step. Oh, he's not running 22 miles per hour now. He's running 21.8. That's slowing down. Come on, man. Go ahead, because I know you got some stuff to say.
No, I agree with you 100%. And in fact, I don't think he's lost a step. I think this negotiation process that he was going through all off season made him train twice as hard, which was another year of rehab for that leg. I now think he is 105% ready to play. And with the added motivation of not being appreciated monetarily, not being able to come to terms where he would like to be for the remainder of his career, I think that put a new fuel in his gas tank. And I think he's running that 93, not that 87.
Mm-hmm. Premium.
And that's what we're going to get, a premium Saquon Barkley, a prime 2018 version of Saquon Barkley. But what we saw with 2018 Barkley was him getting yards any and every way he could because we had a horrible offensive line. You add the fact that we have an offensive line to his reinvigorated run this year, and you see a totally different set of skills because now he don't have to bounce it outside every time. He can follow John Michael Smith straight up the A gap or the B gap and be gone.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely true, Lou. And since we're speaking about the offensive line, you actually got to my second point. And the offensive line is Evan Neal. This is my second key. Evan Neal has to protect like his life depends on it this game. You cannot allow DeMarcus Lawrence or whoever comes to his side to have any success in getting to Daniel Jones repeatedly. Maybe a pressure here or there, and Daniel Jones can step up in the pocket because I do believe John Michael Schmitz helps out the middle of that offensive line and he gives Daniel Jones a pocket to step up into. But let's not make him have to run into that pocket every freaking pass play. So I ask you this question. Do we keep somebody in there to chip and help Evan Neal? Or do we put him on an island? I want your perspective on that.
I want him on an island. And the reason I say that is you got drafted to play one of the most important positions in the NFL. Yeah, it's not glamoury and glitzy, but without you holding down your position, most of the offense can't run. So I don't want to handicap you and get you used to having help. I want you to be used to having to depend on yourself so that when you do need help, you'll barely even notice it.
Real talk. I totally agree with you on that. I got it. He's a number 7 pick overall, 6'7" monster, motivated individual. I think it would be an insult to him if you put help out there for him every play, and I think he would take that personally. I think he took it personally last year.
And it would hinder his growth. Really.
Yeah, because you're putting him a, a crutch on him.
Yeah. You're giving him a
And
security blanket.
yeah, and I don't want that big monster with a security blanket. You are the security blanket.
Thank you.
So
That's my
yeah,
whole point. You were
right,
supposed to be the line of defense, even though it's offense. You're defending the quarterback.
right. And if I gotta give you a little blankie every pass play, that stops people from going into routes.
Who's
That
running at you?
stops
Lawrence Taylor? I don't see Lawrence
right,
Taylor on the other side of that line.
right. Oh, well, they will say the next Lawrence Taylor's out
Man,
there or
he ain't
Michael
the next
Parsons.
nothing. He's
I
the
can't
next
stand
trade.
that they do that.
He's the
But
next trade. That team is about to implode, and he's gonna be the next trade. That's what he is. Not no next.
maybe to us. Who knows? But
Pause.
yeah, I'll take him for sure. Pause. But I need Saquon Barkley running routes. I don't need Saquon Barkley chipping. I don't need Bellinger chipping every time he's out there on the field with you on pass plays.
Mind you, Barkley just had a tender shoulder last year. Last thing you want him
Because
out there doing is trying to chip somebody and getting a stinger or something and being out for a few weeks. We don't need that.
right, I don't need the running back in there, which allows them to send multiple people blitzing because they know Saquon Barkley has to stay in and help chip for Evan Neal. So they
Yeah.
know that he's not going to be able to go into a route as quick as he can and now I can send more people and put more pressure on Andrew Thomas,
That makes us
Glowinski,
one-sided off.
Bredesen.
The same
Yeah,
thing as if you can't run, right? We shut down the run, then we have to force you to pass. Then you're a one-sided offense. We've
right.
handicapped you offensively. It's the
So
same thing.
I don't need us to have any handicaps against a team of Dallas's caliber, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So that's my key number 2. Evan Neal,
I gotta
get
do the
your
third
ass
key.
in gear.
I gotta do the third key. Come on.
Go ahead. What's the third key?
A lot of people ain't gonna like this. Wink Martindale, I love you. We have got to get pressure with 4, 5 at the most. We cannot blitz crazy all the time, every down, like he likes to do. I love Wink Martindale. I love his defense. I think he's a defensive genius. But in order to beat Dallas, you have to be able to get pressure with your front 4, maybe send a blitzer. 1, 5-man pressure, 4-man pressure. You need your linebackers and your DBs shutting down the aerial threat. Pollard can't do it. Zeke is gone. We have to force them. They have to beat us in the air. They can't do it on the ground. So we cannot allow them to beat us in the air. If we're blitzing all the time, somebody's going to be open. So we need to get pressure with our front 4, maybe a 5th guy, and make sure that we blanket everything that they're trying to do.
I can't agree with you more, man, because those blitzes on third downs last year killed us, bro.
They kept getting
And man,
converting third downs every time.
and maybe we do have the personnel that he can do that. But I want to see us do it with the 4 or 5, like you said, because I want to see what I got in Ojulari and Thibodaux. Let's elaborate on that a little bit.
I
I
couldn't
want to
agree with
see
you more.
if Thibodaux and Ojulari are as advertised. Not saying that they've been terrible so far in their career or even been bad. They actually been pretty doggone good. But I want to see them turn into those 2 pillars that I know they are setting those 2 guys up to be.
Not only that, they have to live up to the shoes that they stepped into.
Right.
New York Giants edge rushers and outside linebackers, or rather defensive ends and outside linebackers, which means edge rushers, right? Both of those positions are considered edge rushers. Historically, have been the pillars of our defense. So in order to get back to winning New York Giants football, I know people, oh, the Giants way is dead. Miss me with that. The Giants is going to be the Giants forever. Hence the name Giants. We're bigger than everybody. So what applies to you doesn't apply to us. Period. That's why Strahan said we stomp you out, because we're Giants. So the Giants way is never going to be dead.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball. And you just look at the history that we had, man. Carl Banks and Lawrence Taylor coming off the edge. Marshall in the inside, sometimes coming off the edge. Strahan coming off the edge. Then it
Ever
was
Johnson.
Strahan. Yeah. Then it was Strahan and Osei. Then it was Tuck, Strahan, and Osei. Kiwanuka came in there. They could put him in there.
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah, Jason Pierre-Paul. It's been a history of that, man. They even tried to recreate the history with the dude that we got from the Dolphins in JPP,
Olivier Vernon.
Olivier Vernon. It's just in our blood to have that edge rush presence. That's what we're made on, and that's what will never go away because the Giants have created that, and it will always be in their blood to rush the passer.
Yeah, I remember
And
who knocked out the Bears when they was the 85 Bears. We played them in the playoffs, right? They beat us and went to the Super Bowl. 86. 87, we beat them. Our defense was better.
right.
So we've been a
Who do
historically
you
defensive franchise.
who you think put out Joe Montana twice? We stopped Joe Montana from winning 4 in a row. We were the ones that stopped the 49ers with pass rush.
Who stopped
So
the undefeated streak of New England?
yeah, so it's in our blood, man. That's what it is. Pass rush is in our blood, and they drafted Thibodeaux to put him with Ojolari to make those two pillars. So I
And
gotta see those guys step up and do what they're supposed to do.
he especially has got big shoes to fill because I said that he would have a better career than Aiden Hutchinson on draft day. A lot of people may have forgotten that. I didn't. At the end of their careers, Kayvon Thibodeaux will be better than Aiden Hutchinson overall, stat
And
wise.
Thibodeaux, all honesty, Hutchinson is a beast, but Thibodeau's a better player. He's more athletic, and I believe I just think that he's just a better player than what Aiden Hutchinson can be, and that's saying something because I believe Aiden Hutchinson is going to be an absolute monster. I think he's going to be like the Bosa boys, not as good as Nick Bosa, but I think he'll be a little bit better than Joey Bosa. But I think Thibodeaux can be like a T.J. Watt out there, like an absolute, just a problem out there, like ridiculous problem, like a Nick Bosa who's a ridiculous problem. The contract that Nick Bosa just signed. I want Thibodeaux to be able to command that type money when it's time for him to sign his contract.
And let's not forget, with the addition of Isaiah Simmons and Bobby Boogie Basham, we should be able to create pressure with our front four, even when Thibodeaux or Ojolari have to come out for a breather. Those are
True.
the type of defenses that we have historically had to win Super Bowls with. When your guy comes in to give him a breather, he's just as impactful as the guy that stepped off. Those are the
Right.
type of defenses that win championships. Speed kills offensively, and defense wins championships.
All right. So my number four key to victory. Gotta stop CD Lamb. You gotta stop CD Lamb. I believe CD Lamb is going to be the key to this Dallas offense this year more than it has been in previous years. Reason why is because I think Dak Prescott is going to have to depend on that guy out there. I don't think Michael Gallup is that dude, and Brandon Cooks, he's good. But if you put the clamps on CD Lamb, I don't see them boys doing what they were doing the previous years because I think their run game is nowhere near as good as it was. Even though Zeke Elliott wasn't the Zeke of old, he was still to be respected. And their power run game, I believe, is gone. Who's going to do their power run game? Pollard? He's not a power runner. Deuce Vaughn? He's not a power runner. Who's going to do their power run game this year? Remember, that's always been a key element to the Cowboys. They can always do that power run game and slow the game down and make you come up to stop it. Even though Zeke was not the old Zeke, he was still formidable. You still had to worry about him getting to the line of scrimmage, breaking off 3 or 4 yards, and continually to do that to put them in 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 situations. They don't have that no more. Now it's on Dak. And I believe you get pressure on Dak and you shut down CeeDee Lamb, I think you blow the Cowboys out this year. I don't know. What do you think about that, Lou?
You already know me. I know we're gonna blow the Cowboys out this year. Week 1, I'm already celebrating. The game ain't for 2 more days. I'm celebrating right now. This is my happy face, y'all. In case y'all didn't know.
Yeah, I think the loss of Zeke against us matters because they hold that edge and don't let them get those toss plays this year.
And Bobby O come through the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of
Our
mercy.
line, our linebacker play is up this game with Simmons, Bobby O, and Michael McFadden. They all three have upped their game. And yeah, that power run game is gone. Those run plays where Zeke runs into the line of scrimmage and gets 4 yards when it should have been maybe 1 yard. That doesn't happen with Tony Pollard. It may turn into a 2 or 3 yard loss because he's gonna try to bounce it to the outside. And guess what? Surprise! Bobby O is there this year. Michael McFadden is there this year.
No
Isaiah
more
Simmons is
Lorenzo
already
Carter
waiting
and no
for it.
more Shane Zimenez. Now we got
Yeah,
linebackers.
yeah. No more Jalen Smith and no more Calitro and all them other guys. Tay Crowder. No, it ain't them no more. We got some real linebackers out there.
No, no,
So we
no.
stop CD Lamb from getting those little quick catches and turning it to 10, 15 yards and letting them get those 20-yard plays on those deep dig routes because that's what they love to run.
They don't know
I think
this
we stop.
giant squadron.
I think we stop them, and I think we make it extremely hard for them to put up points against us.
Pause.
But that's the number 4 key. What's the fifth and final key, Lou?
Well, the great number 8, Daniel Jones, has got to be able to read this defense pre-snap. His pre-snap reads are going to be one of the most important keys. We all know Daniel Jones has learned how to read a defense from some of the best, the Manning boys. His pre-snap reads, being able to audible and call plays at the line and switch stuff out and alert guys as to who's the mic and who's this and who's that, is going to be crucial in this game. Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, has no film on this team. None of the other teams have film on this team. We have new receivers, new linemen, a second year in the playbook. Remember, this playbook was designed to fit what Daniel Jones likes, his strengths, and some of what Dable and them want to run. This is not the Buffalo Bills playbook. There is no film on this team. The 2023 New York Giants is a completely new team in the NFL. Whether we may have some of the old guys here and this and that, new playbook, no film on these guys. Defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys has his hands full trying to plan for Barkley, Waller, Jalen Hyatt, Bellinger, Daniel Jones keeping the ball, Paris Campbell, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard. There's too many weapons on offense for this defense to fixate on one or trying to take one away from you. If Daniel Jones can capitalize on reading what packages are in front of him and making his pre-snap reads and adjustments, we should be able to blow this team out. Their DBs cannot keep up with us. All it takes is the right audible against the wrong defense.
Yep, I believe pre-snap reads is going to be a huge part of this offense this year, and because we have the pieces to run it. They didn't have Waller last year to run those street routes and seam routes up the middle with the tight end. Bellinger was good, and they was
He
actually
got
using
Judy
Bellinger
chopped.
to the best. Yeah, he got Judy chopped in the eye, and and then we had to run with Myrick and Hudson. And you named all those people, and you didn't even name Barkley. That's how
I
good
said
I think
Barkley
this team.
first. I said Barkley
Oh,
first. Yeah, he was the
I was
first
gonna
one.
say a lot of times you can name weapons on this team, and you don't even name
Listen,
Barkley. And that's how good I think this team could be. We didn't have Jalen Hyatt that can run 24 miles per hour to run those dig routes across the field. We didn't even have Slayton to like week 4 or 5 last year to when we had to put him in the game. And kudos to him. He stepped up and he did what he was supposed to do, and they
well,
brought
I'd
him
have
back.
suited up Shakari Richardson last year. I'd have gave her some shoulder pads and a Giants jersey rather than some of them daggone receivers we had on the field.
No, you don't see a David Sills or Marcus Johnson or uh, even though Richie James played well for us, or Richie James or Kadarius Toney or Kenny Galladay. You don't see those
Who?
guys on the
Wait,
field this year.
what?
Yeah,
You talking
you don't
about
see those,
Butterfingers?
man. You don't see those guys on the field this year. So Yeah. Fifth key is Daniel Jones. Just make the right read, bro. Go out there, do what you do, make the right read, get the yardage, and let's go put up some points.
And
But
the reason I say that, I'm sorry, is because under Joe Judge and Garrett, he wasn't allowed to audible. The few times he did it and was successful, they got mad at him for
right.
succeeding to play. Dable has given him the keys. Dable has inspired him, has given him trust, has helped him boost his confidence by giving him trust and allowing him to grow and develop. And I think in the second year in this offense, you're going to see Daniel Jones doing a lot of audibles, a lot of changing and adjusting at the line. And that is going to be a key factor in so many of our victories. And that's why I said that's going to be one of the most important keys.
Yep. That is one of the most important keys. And believe it or not, man, as much as our pass game has improved, I'm going to say it right here. We might run for 150 yards against these boys Sunday night football. At least. Because of with Daniel Jones getting out the pocket and with Saquon Barkley, you don't know what's coming yet. And with John Michael Schmitz blocking in the middle of that line, I think that helps out Bredesen and Glowinski. And if Evan Neal plays like the number 7 pick this year, you're not going to be able to do anything with this team because we're too fast for our quarterback to have that much time in the pocket.
Greatest show on turf, Big Blue version.
And you heard it here first with the Big Blue crew. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. The 5 keys to a Giants victory over the Cowboys. Tune in to us Sunday night football. I'll be calling the game. We gonna beat them Cowboys, man. And we gonna beat them good. Pause. 31-17, and it might be even worse. Because if that boy Evan Neal blocks and lets Daniel Jones sit there in the pocket with those weapons, unless you got a Hall of Fame defense out there, I don't see any way you're going to stop us from at least putting up 24 points, at the very least. And I don't think Wink is going to allow teams to put up 30 points on us this year. He didn't even really do it last year. Only team that did it was the Eagles. That's because we were just outmanned. But we ain't outmanned this year. We going to line up, hit you in your grill, and get you out of MetLife this year. Especially these whack-ass Cowboys. I can't stand them. And all you Cowboys fans in my comments on my videos this week, I love it. And I can't wait for you to not show up Monday on my on my video in the comments because you're too embarrassed to say anything. Exactly. 11-6. Believe. Big Blue Crew. Anything else you got, Lou?
Subscribe, hit that thumbs up button. Don't be a ninja watch all your life, man. Support two brothers trying to do something positive on YouTube. We're probably the only sports crew out here that speaks unbiasedly about the New York Giants. Yes, we're fans, but a lot of people just refuse to admit when they're wrong, and they'll argue a narrative to the end of the world rather than admit that they were wrong. So
Yep.
we're not like that. When we're wrong, we're wrong. We'll be the first one to tell you, hey, I messed up. But we said DJ was going to be a good quarterback if you put some pieces around him and actually give him a playbook that wasn't out of a gumball machine.
Right.
And, so you saw that. You saw him have his best statistical year under a real coaching staff. Now you see pieces being added to this team. You see a culture that was built. You see guys that bought in. So this year, you're going to see a championship. And it is what it is. I'm going to say I told you so. Yeah, I'm not going to be modest. I'm going to be an asshole. Yeah, you know why? The good die young. Assholes live long lives. I plan on being around here for a long time. So I'm going to rub it in. And I'm going to say I told you so.
Right.
Go cop the merch.
Right. While you're doing that, go cop some merch from the Big Pat Sports Shop as well. And until the next episode, you know what it is, man. Peace.